Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Keeneland Racecourse here on Saturday. It is the 19th of October, 2024. Going to look at the stakes action on the program from Keeneland, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Let's look at the stakes action. Races 7 and 9 from Keeneland, both of them sprint racing. The 7th race, it is the Perryville Stakes. It's a grade 3 event going for a purse $300,000. Race for 3-year-olds here. Field of 14 horses entered, only 12 could go. The 1,400-meter journey, or 7 furlongs on the Keeneland main track. Gonna go with the 4-horse Who Day as a top selection. 4-3-12-5 for me in the superfecta. 4-3-12-5 super. Top selection of 4-horse Who Day. This 3-year-old colt by Liam's Map. Thomas Dury Jr. trains. Brian Hernandez Jr. gets the mount. The horse's most recent appearance came at an allowance race for $25,000 at Belterra, 6.5 on the 18th of September. Sent off as the 5 cents to the dollar favorite. A very heavy price. He should have won by more, but he won that day. Winning by a night. If you bet him that day, you probably were, biting your fingernails to the bone. But he closed up from nowhere. He got the job done, but he should have won by more. Refreshing here. Coming back against the big boys, I think I'll see a strong pace to close up into, and I think he's been crying out for the 7 furlong trip, and I think he could, find the trip to win. He ran okay, not okay, great. I thought 2 back in the Ellis Park Derby at Ellis over the mile, 11th of August, cutting back and trip, not against the toughest horses. He finished 3rd by length. He saw a good pace to close up into, not the best beginnings, but really gaining late. Not a bad race in defeat. And then the Matt Wynn Stakes at Churchill over the mile 16th in early June. He finished 2nd by 2.25 lengths. Society Men had the jump on him, but this horse, he stalked, he had the lead, he got overtaken late, but he ran his heart out. And then the Pat Day Mile, he finished 4th by 1.25 lengths, where again he just had a little bit of a trouble trip, but he was getting down the race course well against some very tough horses. A massive place in the Lafayette Stakes here in the fall and in the spring earlier this year. Like I said, he'll probably see a strong pace to close up into. He's training nicely at 8-1. I think he can win. I think the 3-horse Knightsbridge is your second likeliest winner for Godolphin and Jr. and Billmont. He won second offering at Gulfstream back in March, going a mile and an optional 75, winning by 9 lengths that day on the front end. He really took off clear. I thought that was a very strong run. 96 Buyer. You haven't seen the horse since then, though. Coming off the bench shouldn't be a problem. I think he could find that trip to win. He won on debut going 7 at Churchill last November, quite impressively, winning by nearly a baker's dozen. He basically won on the front end going away. That was a good, clear run. He's first-time stakes quality horse. It's not the world's deepest race. He's drawn well. He's a little versatile type. In the late pick 4 that begins this race, I'll use him here, but I do think Who Day is, a very likely winner and a horse you want to use in your pick 4, along with this one. Knightsbridge, like I said, can win also, but it's a very good co-feature here. But to recount my selection for the 7th from Keeneland now, it's to Perryville. Gonna go take the 4-horse Who Day. Give kudos to the 3-horse Knightsbridge. 4-3-12-5 super. 4-3 in the multi-race. Heading over to the 9th race now from Keeneland, which is the Raven Run Stakes. It's a grade 2 event going for a $350,000 purse. Races for fillies, 3-year-olds here. We have a field of, 10 horses going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs here in the Raven Run. I'm going to go with the 5-horse here, Emery. 5-3-2-7 for me in the superfecta. 5-3-2-7 super. Top selection 5-horse Emery. 3-year-old field a bit more than ready. Brad Cox trains. Tyler Gaffleone gets the mount. They ran the horse most recently in the Grade 1 test at Saratoga, 7 furlongs, 3rd of August, and he finished 2nd by 2.25 lengths behind Ways and Means, who was the next star winner that day after that. But this horse, she sat back on the front end. She kind of got overtaken by a great filly that day. She was second best behind your logical Breeders' Cup favorite. Refreshing her, not the world's toughest race. I think she could find the trip to win. She ran terrifically to back in the victory ride at Aqueduct, 6.5, 4th of July. She only had 3 other rivals, but winning by 3/4 length at 60 cents to the dollar. She really took off clear in the final few strides of the race. And then Leslie's Lady at Churchill, the 7 in June, winning by 3.25 lengths. She sat back early after not the best beginnings, but she was on cruise control late. A very, very good run. Her only subpar races have come on, in last year's Frizette, where I don't think she was handling the course. But I think back to 7 is her preferred trip. She's training well. Beat by good mare last time, or good filly who's been on a winning streak recently. I think she could win here. I think the 3 horse my main squeeze for Luis, and Mike Maker could win also. Was a winner most recently the Dogwood by half a dozen, gaining a lot of ground that day at Churchill. That was a very impressive run with this horse saw pace to close up into. Prior to the Charlestown Classic, she had a very wide trip, but she was really gaining late. Not the world's worst race for her in the feet. And then she won the 8 Bells on Derby Day at Churchill quite nicely from a tracking trip. She's done everything right, since coming up to Open Company earlier this year. She could win here. I would use her a shot on the pick 4 here, but to recount my selection now for the 9th from Keeneland, it's the Raven Run. Gonna take the 5 horse Emery. Give kudos to the 3 horse My Main Squeeze. 5-3-2-7 Super. 5-3 in the multi race. So good luck to 'em. Please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.